score in the playoffs. What a season he's had.
Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from
the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure. So the ball is out in the end zone. And it's
Wheeler finds Claude from the logo.
Edelman in motion. Edelman takes the swing pass. Edelman's going to throw. He's knocked it wide open. Amendola. Touchdown.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to NFL Week 9 picks. We are almost halfway through the season. Last week I went 9-4. Not a horrible week, but there definitely were some surprises. So hoping for an even better week this week. We have 4 teams on bye. We have the Eagles, the Buccaneers, the Jets, and the Browns. 2 really good teams and 2 horrible teams. Thursday night football starting off. We have the Dolphins coming off of a very surprising win, in my opinion, against the Falcons, going up against Lamar Jackson returning with the Baltimore Ravens. This game will be played in Miami, and the Ravens also coming off of a pretty impressive win without Lamar last week against the Chicago Bears. A lot of people did pick the Ravens to win that one, but I did not. I thought the Bears were going to take that without Lamar at the helm, but they took it, and that was a much-needed win. The Ravens are 2-5, trying to climb back into that division, trying to climb back into the playoff hunt. And the Dolphins, I think they're just as surprised that they won as we are. Tua had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the Dolphins' defense looked solid against a really good run game. So that was very, very, very surprising. And I think that was kind of a fluky game. I don't think that's going to be replicated this week. Not that I'm super confident in the Ravens' ability to win games, but I think they are the better team and they are more of a cohesive unit. And with Lamar returning, I think that's definitely going to push them over the edge. I think this will be a high-scoring game. I don't expect a ton of defense, but I think the Ravens will definitely take this one. I think the Dolphins will go right back to being a horrible team, and I wouldn't even be surprised if the Ravens covered. They are significant favorites for this one. Last I checked, they were like 5 or 6 point favorites, and I could certainly see them covering. But I think the Ravens take this one. I think Derrick Henry has a fairly decent game, and I expect the Ravens to win. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams coming off of very disappointing losses, and somewhat surprising, you could say. The Bears losing to, like I said, the Lamarless Ravens, and they did not play well. This was one of their worst games of the season as far as total team performance and Caleb Williams' performance. And then we have the Bengals, who offensively played very well. Flacco was still having a really good game, throwing 50-yard dimes to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The Bengals defense pulled a Bengals defense and allowed the winless Jets to finally get their first win of the season. Crazy how that happens just when the Bengals were putting some wins together, because they were also trying to stay alive in the AFC North. So this game is being played in Cincinnati. I'm not sure if that's going to really play a role here. I'm not really sure who to pick. I would love to see Joe Flacco grab another win, and I certainly think they can. They are really averaging like at least 30 points a game, with Flacco throwing a bunch of passes to Chase and Higgins every single game. And it's kind of ignited the run game a little bit too. Bears have been on a little downward trend. They had a big win streak, and now they're on a big losing streak. So I'm really torn who to choose for this game. I am definitely undecided, but I do have to choose a team. And for this game, I'm going to go with the Bears, unfortunately. That Bengals defense is just, it's so bad. And I do think that I trust the Bengals offense more than the Bears offense, but that Bengals defense is just terrible. It's just so unreliable. Just when you think you can count on them, they let you down. So I'm going to reluctantly go with the Bears to win this one. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals win, and I would like to see that happen, but I'm just a little more confident in the Bears. Not much, just a little bit, for a little bounce back for them. Next up, we have a divisional matchup. We have the Minnesota Vikings going into Detroit. JJ should be back for this game. Will he be 100%? He probably will be pretty close to 100%. But again, he's only played a few NFL games in his career, and he's going up against one of the best and hottest teams in the NFL, not just their own division. So we have the Detroit Lions, and I think they are going to really put a beat down on the Vikings, to be completely honest. They're coming off of a bye, and there's really zero reason for them not to dominate this game. I mean, you never know. It is divisional. It is NFC North football, but I think the Lions put the smackdown on the Vikings for this game. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young hopefully returning, because Andy Dalton, that was not pretty last week. So we have the Panthers going into Green Bay against the Packers, coming off of I think this is one of their more impressive wins on the year. They've had a lot of closer games against bad teams, some not super impressive wins, but I feel like this was a pretty impressive win. They put the Steelers in their place. Jordan Love definitely outplayed Aaron Rodgers. They had some decent runs, but a lot of really good passes. So again, this is in Green Bay. I think that the Packers win this one. I could see it being close because the Packers are one of those teams. They do kind of play down to lower end teams. I guess the Panthers are kind of like middle of the pack, but I still kind of consider them to be a lower end team. And I do see the Packers sometimes playing down to their competition, but I still take the Packers to win this one. I trust them a lot more. They really only have one loss on the season, so they have been consistently winning, and they seem to be going in the right direction. So I'm taking the Packers to win this game. Next, we have the LA Chargers and the Tennessee Titans. Chargers looked really good. They needed to look good, and they looked really good last week. And they're playing the Titans, so there's really not much to say about this game. Chargers kind of lucked out with this one, and they should mop the floor with Tennessee. I won't spend too much time on that game. Next we have...
Second down and 7. Brady, pass is caught. Tackle is missed, and a first down for James White. Brady has a man, first down. Big conversion, Amendola. Out of bounds inside the 40. Now third down and 8. Brady flushed out. Will run and get it and slide at the 20.
And take time off the clock, and they've done a good job not giving up big plays.
Now they'll throw. Pass is caught. That's White. Touchdown. Brady, big hill to climb. Pass is caught. Now second and 10, pass caught. Mitchell again. They're going to the rookie. On third down, pass is caught inside the 10 by Bennett. Brady, pass caught. That's Mitchell. First down. Brady, end zone touchdown. Amendola. Third and 10, blitz off the corner. Pass is caught by Hogan.
Free someone up for a big play.
Near sideline, Mitchell. What a half he's had. Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football, and they're saying it's a catch. And now this from Edelman. Incredible. Here's Amendola. Down near the 20. On first down, Brady underneath. Finds White. White down inside the 10. Even if it is time for Atlanta. Pass. Amendola. Flag is down. Amendola's in. But it depends on the penalty. Sideline. What a throw. Amendola. Brady. Pass is caught. Hogan. Inside the 40. Brady down the gut. Pass is caught. Fake it to Hogan. Flip it to White. Looking for blocks. Getting blocks inside the 20. Out of bounds.
Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons going into New England against the 6-2, first place in the AFC East, second place in the AFC. New England Patriots, you know they're going to be playing some stuff on that video board. They're going to be playing some Super Bowl 51 highlights when they do the intros in Gillette Stadium. You know it's going to happen. You just know it.
Atlanta needs somebody to make a play now.
Yeah.
Toss sweep wide for James White. Tucks it under the right arm. Cuts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. A touchdown and a title for the Patriots.
So, Drake May, I really expect him to continue his MVP campaign this week. The Falcons, who knows what you're getting with them? You really never know. They're such a confusing team. One week, they're getting blown out by the Panthers. Another week, they're beating the Bills. Another week, they're getting blown out by the Dolphins. Who knows what's going to happen with the Falcons? Patriots have one of the best, if not the best, run defenses in the NFL. Not a single running back this year has had more than 50 rushing yards against the Patriots. This hasn't happened since 1950 through week 8 in the season. So the Patriots have a good counter for the Falcons' strength. Penix probably will be returning. We don't really know for sure. Is he 100%? We don't really know for sure. Does it matter? Not really. It could be a back and forth game. It honestly could be. The Falcons do have weapons, but the Patriots they're really good, and they have Drake May. So Patriots going to rack up another W at home, at Gillette, and then we'll be preparing for a real test with Tampa Bay next week. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers going up against the New York Giants. Is this just the battle of which team has more star players on IR? Because I feel like it is. And it's being played at MetLife, so that's pretty scary. Yeah, this is another one. I'm not really sure what to go with. San Francisco's injuries kind of seem to be catching up to them now. The Giants, well, they weren't really good all year anyway, so it's not like they were running on borrowed time. They were losing anyway. They were already losing to start the season with. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to go with what I think is the better coach team, and that's going to be San Francisco. I'm not sure if it's Mac. I'm not sure if it's Brock Purdy, but I'm going to go with San Fran. They've put more wins together. I think they're a better coach team, and I think they have a better defense. So I'm going to go with San Fran to win this one, but who knows what can happen. All I know is you better have the ambulances and stretchers on standby for this one at MetLife. Next up, we have the Colts at the Steelers. Steelers coming off of another back-to-back loss against the former home team for Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't do it. He couldn't beat all 32 teams. Brady could, but Rodgers could not. He's only beaten 31 teams. He's now going up against the most efficient scoring team in the NFL, the Colts. Wow, they just keep surprising me. I'm not really surprised at this point, but I'm still kind of in shock, if that makes sense. So I could kind of see this as being a trap game. A lot of people are saying this could be a trap game for the Colts, and it could be. I don't think the Colts aren't going to lose any more games the rest of the season. I could see them dropping a couple more, and it could be to the Steelers. Will the Steelers really lose 3 in a row? I don't think that's really a factor here. I think if they're going to lose, they're just going to lose regardless. And I am going to pick the Colts to win this one. Why am I going to bet against a 7-1 team? I'm going with the Colts here. They've been great. Jonathan Taylor is fantastic. Daniel Jones is great. The O-line is fantastic. The defense is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. It's not bad. So I'm going to go with the Colts to win this one. They're just playing better football, period. But I wouldn't mind them losing a game here and there either. So that's my pick. I'm going with the Colts. Next, we have two of the best defenses in the NFL. We have the Broncos at the Texans. I did predict the Broncos to beat the Cowboys last week, pretty much in the fashion that they did, and now they play the Texans. And last I checked on DraftKings, the Texans were actually 1-point favorites to win this game. I know Pat Surtain is out for the game, but still, a little surprising here. I know Houston's putting some wins together. They're playing at home. You know, I think it's less about Houston playing at home and more about Denver not playing at home. But with all that being said, Houston still has a pretty beat-up, bad O-line. And Denver's pass rush is pretty good. It's a little underrated. Bo Nix has been on fire the last game and a half, and I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this one. They're 5-2. They're a better team than the Texans, really. I could see it being a close, low-scoring game, but I think the Broncos take this one. I don't want to get on the Texans hype train too much. I think the Broncos take this one. But we'll see what happens here. It could be interesting. Next, we have the Jaguars at the Raiders. Ooh, yeah. The Jags aren't exactly the best team in the world either. They've been on a pretty bad downward spiral the past few weeks. So Jacksonville, they really need to win here, and I think this is the perfect team for them to play this week. I think the Jaguars win this one. It could be an ugly game, could be a close game, but I still think they are better than Las Vegas. So I think the Jaguars take this one, but who really knows? This is kind of one of their muddier games of the week. Next, we have the Saints at the Rams. Ooh, these two teams have a little bit of bad blood, possibly, after that NFC Championship those years ago. But who knows? It's a lot of different players now. So the Rams are definitely going to win this one. No contest. The Rams are definitely going to take this one. It's going to be a blowout. There's not much to say here. And I think Spencer Rattler is out for the game. I think he's benched. I think he's being benched. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, Rams are going to take this one. And then we have probably the game of the week. We have the Chiefs at the Bills. When has this ever not been a cinematic masterpiece? It always is. The Bills have been known to win during the regular season against the Chiefs, especially when they're playing in Buffalo. Even last year, the Bills were able to pull that off in Buffalo, and then they ended up losing in Arrowhead in the playoffs to the Chiefs. That's kind of how it normally goes. I really need the Bills to lose another game because we're like fighting for the division now. If this was last year, it wouldn't matter because, well, you know how the Patriots were last year. But it matters this year. So, in a weird, sick, twisted sort of way, now I'm actually cheering for the Chiefs to win. The team we're all sick and tired of. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chiefs to win this one. They've been pretty hot. They got their mojo back. Bills had a pretty big week last week too, but again, it was the Panthers. So I don't know how much that's really saying. I'm going with the Chiefs here. Mahomes, he kind of owns Allen, and I think the Chiefs take this one. They have a much better defense than the Bills, and the Bills really haven't beaten a lot of good teams this year. Really, none. So we're going to roll with the Chiefs to win this one. Next up, we have the Seahawks at the Washington Commanders. Washington, yeah, it's not your year. You're old, you're banged up, you're beat up. Not sure if it's going to be Mariota or Daniels, but I don't think it matters. I think the Seahawks win this one. They've been good this year. Darnold's playing very well. I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the league. And I think the Seahawks just straight up take this one. As long as they can keep their turnovers under control, I think they take this one fairly easily. And that brings us to Monday Night Football. We have the Cardinals at the Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys did exactly what I said they would do. They win a game, they get your hopes up, and then their defense completely blows it. I could see this being another high-scoring game. Every single game the Cowboys play in always hits the over. I always take the over. I am pretty confident in taking the Cowboys for a little money line here too. I think the Cardinals are starting Kyler Murray. Not 100% certain. It's probably worse if they start Kyler because he's just been not great. And Jacoby's been a lot better in that Cardinals offense. But either way, I think Dallas wins this one. I think this is the game where they play really well and get your hopes up. I think that's what this game is. They're playing at home. They're playing against another team that also has a bad defense and not a great offense. And really not much of a running game either. So I think Dallas takes this one and they continue their up and down season that they're having. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time.